Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater. And one of the things I love about comedy is that it allows you to satirize and parody serious things. And that's oftentimes a way for many people out there to enjoy something that's tragic or to find levity in something that's dark. It's a way for them to process it. Not all of the times, not every single case, but when it comes to comedy, that's usually how people approach those types of subject matters, especially if someone has an overinflated ego or a temper tantrum. But before we jump into that, please do me a favor and thumbs up the video and subscribe and check back often for more content from me. That's just my little plug at the beginning. But in regards to that kind of comedy and that kind of thing, most people are on board with it. That would be unless you're Lucasfilm, which is the weirdest thing. But it says here that Lucasfilm said no way to Wreck-It Ralph 2 having bratty Kylo Ren jokes. Yeah, never mind the fact that a joke about a bratty egomaniac or whatever, or temper tantrum throwing Kylo Ren was made inside of The Force Awakens, right? When he's throwing a second temper tantrum of the movie, tearing up an office, and then there's two stormtroopers and they're all like, doo-doo-doo, whoa, whoa, and they take the hell off because they don't want to get caught up on that. They know what Kylo was like. Even Saturday Night Live, in my opinion, the very best skit that they have done in the past probably like 10 years was the one with Kylo Ren on Undercover Boss Starkiller Base. That was perfect. I watch it at least once a month and I laugh my ass off every single time. It is just fun. And they satirize it, and they satirize Kylo Ren perfectly. So why is it that that was okay, that was a thing, but this one isn't? It just makes no damn sense as to why they were sitting there and they're going like, nope, you can't do it. Never mind the fact that they're just going to be lampooning Kylo a little bit, and that's not going to undermine his ability to be a bad guy. I guess. I don't think it would, but apparently Lucasfilm said no. Now it says here, Lucasfilm made the Wreck-It Ralph 2 cut a Kylo Ren joke showing him as a spoiled child. When Disney put out the first Wreck-It Ralph in 2012, the studio had just acquired Lucasfilm, which means there wasn't any of the Star Wars franchise to play with. However, a lot has changed in the 6 years since the first installment. In the promotional material for the sequel, we've seen C-3PO, TIE Fighters, X-Wings, and Stormtroopers, but we're not going to see the villainous Kylo Ren. Now, Wreck-It Ralph 2 directors Rich Moore and Phil Johnson, along with the head of story Josie Trinidad, talked about their idea for a Kylo Ren joke. In the end, the idea poking fun at the current main villain of the Star Wars franchise didn't set well with Lucasfilm. Moore had this to say. Says, at one point, we had a joke about Kylo Ren being kind of a spoiled child. We went to Lucasfilm and said, here's what we're doing. And they said, well, we'd prefer that you don't show him as a spoiled child. He is our villain, and we'd prefer you to do that. So we were respectful of that. Okay. So him being a spoiled child obviously is not what they've established in terms of current canon for the character, right? If you listen to like the dialogue choices of Kylo Ren when talking about his father, Han was maybe distant. Han was never there. Han never really believed in the Force. Han was not the best father. He was always kind of had one foot out the door and always wanted to go back to being a scoundrel, right? And we get that. He's a lovable scoundrel, right? But not the best father. And Kylo understood that, and he told that to Rey, and he was kind of right about that, even though that there was more of a connection between Rey and Han than Kylo and Han, right? We understand that. But then also, it's you could kind of see him being a spoiled child. You could kind of see him. I mean, look at the opening, not the opening, but in the beginning of The Last Jedi, after, his attack on the ship and, almost kills his mother, who's able to Mary Poppins herself back to, I don't want to get that. But then he goes and talks to Snoke, and, he throws a temper tantrum, right, again, and Snoke, well, uses Force lightning on him and zaps him, and then tells him to take off that stupid helmet, to which case he destroys it in the elevator. So we already know that he's a brat. We already know that he's entitled, and we already know that he's spoiled. He was spoiled. So why is it making a joke about it such a bad thing? And now here's my real question. Who said no? Who said no? Probably Kathleen Kennedy made the call. Right? But when were they planning this? Animated movies take a long time to make. It's 6 years in between Wreck-It Ralph and Wreck-It Ralph 2. So one could assume, possibly, that this was during the production of The Last Jedi. And they didn't want Kylo Ren to come off as being this spoiled, whiny little child. Never mind the fact that even when Robot Chicken was satirizing Star Wars, right? You had Emperor Palpatine, voiced by Seth MacFarlane, completely mocking Darth Vader all the time, you know, and like basically treating him like a petulant child, and treating him like he is a spoiled little brat. That has been made fun of before. Those jokes have been made multiple times. So what was it about Kylo Ren that was different? Now, in the case of Darth Vader, well, you know, we saw Anakin get that way in the Clone Wars, right? And so that's kind of the joke there. But in the original trilogy, we never saw that. Now, in this new trilogy, oh, we're seeing it. We're seeing Kylo for who he is, for what he is. And someone in Lucasfilm was upset about this. Someone on Lucasfilm was upset and didn't want it to happen. I find that to be very, very, very interesting, if I'm being honest. I find that to be very interesting, and I want to know why, and I want to know who. But they didn't say who. I'm hoping that one day someone can crank out of them exactly which executive at Lucasfilm put the kibosh on this joke. Because now that this joke is out there, people are going to be wanting to know what the hell it was and why it was so bad that Disney killed, or that Lucasfilm killed the joke. I wonder if we're ever going to actually find out. But I leave it to you to come to your own conclusions and to write them below in the chat. In fact, if you just made it this far and you want to type in joke in the chat, so I know you guys made it, that would be fantastic. If you haven't already, please thumbs up the video, subscribe, and check back often for more content from me. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been 3 Buck Theater. Have yourself a grand day, and peace out.